It's your boy Crypto Blood. It's that classic Jay-Z, Dear Summer. It's off that Myth Bleak album. I really wasn't a fan of Myth Bleak. Not like that. He had good hits, like good singles, but as an album, I never liked Memphis Bleak's albums, to be honest with you. But today we're talking about a couple things. Bitcoin touched 8,000 last night, or over the night. That's what's up. On our way to Jupiter. 10,000 is Jupiter for me. So according to Clif and some other projections or predictions by some, I don't even know these people. I've seen articles and stuff, people talking about 10,000 by end of December or whatever. I can see that, especially with rumor that the CME will actually be launching their futures contract for Bitcoin. It looks like November 20th. So we'll see. But I also wanted to hit you guys up on and update you on what's going on over at Coinbase. I got an email from them, and essentially it looks like they're preparing to not support, but just giving an update on the SegWit2x fork that is actually should be happening like right now. So I just want to read you what the email said. So it says, to protect customer funds, Coinbase will disable Bitcoin's send and receives at 2 a.m. Pacific time, November 17th, which is today, and disable buys and sales an hour before the fork, which is currently predicted to occur between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Pacific time on November 17th, which is like should be around right now, to be honest with you. Between now and like 10 o'clock my time, or 11 o'clock my time. So it said all functionality will be re-enabled shortly afterwards. So it's basically giving us two scenarios in which basically how they will react. So first scenario is network is unusable. If support for the fork remains at current levels or decreases, the Bitcoin 2x network will be unusable. Coinbase will not support withdrawals or trading, as it will not be possible to move these assets. Currently, we believe this is the most likely scenario, and it probably is. If the network gains support at a later date, we will enable Bitcoin 2x withdrawals from the platform. So you'll get your tokens, but you won't be able to withdraw them until mining support. I would probably say it would have to get over 50% or 51%. It may have to get higher than that. I know to avoid a 51% attack, you got to be at least above 51%, but they may want to see even higher than that. So we'll see what happens with that. So the second scenario, and this is the scenario they think will occur in a couple hours. I agree with them too. I don't think they'll garner much more support from the mining community as of right now. And we're going to get into my thoughts about Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin in a second. But the second scenario says network is unusable if transactions are being confirmed at a reasonable speed. Oh, I'm sorry. The second scenario is what they don't think is going to occur. So it says the network is usable if transactions are being confirmed at a reasonable speed and miner support is strong. We will allow Coinbase customers to withdraw their Bitcoin 2x tokens. We will not immediately enable buys and sales as previously stated, but we may enable them at a later date. So that's an update on that. So we'll see how that works out, man. The second part, what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was that Max Kaiser put out a tweet the other day, and the tweet goes something like, when will Bitcoin, it was a vote, when will Bitcoin be considered currency? And he had like different price levels, and I was like, man, to be honest with you, I don't see it it's not predicated on price to me. It's more predicated on usability in the real world. What I mean by that is right now how the core development team is treating the protocol, the Bitcoin core, the protocol, they're treating it as though they don't want it to be money, which is a little weird to me. It's a little weird to me. I don't understand completely what's behind their initiative or their stance on that, their strategy, but it seems like they are really trying not to have Bitcoin be money, which is, I mean, cool. You don't want it to be money, you want it to be treated more as a commodity, then at least let the market dictate that. Let consensus come to that. I feel like they're doing stuff in a way where they're trying to control the direction of Bitcoin. So my personal opinion, and I told Max Kaiser this, I said, yeah, I don't think Bitcoin is a currency first. So, and the reason why I don't think it's a currency, yes, it kind of fits many of the characteristics of money, and some of you may know, like maybe like the top 5 characteristics of money, and the top 5 will be like durability, meaning it's indestructible, and Bitcoin is indestructible if you have it spread across different nodes across the internet. If one record of the ledger of the blockchain is destroyed, it doesn't destroy Bitcoin, because there are hundreds of thousands of these copies around the world, around the globe, right? So the second thing that we consider a characteristic of money is portability. And so we all know that Bitcoin is very portable. Matter of fact, it's more portable than gold, silver, any of the precious metals, and honestly it's even more portable than fiat currency in its physical form, fiat currency. So that checks off. That's not a problem. The third thing I would say from a characteristic of money will have to be divisibility. And Bitcoin beats everything in divisibility, because you can break down a Bitcoin, what is it, 8 decimal point places, so you can get well below sub pennies and do micro payments and micro transactions and such. That's excellent. Like, it fits that perfectly. It does it the best. And then like another one would be uniformity, or what I call fungibility. So that basically means I can take one Bitcoin and transfer it to another person, and it's the same. I can do one Bitcoin for one Bitcoin. There's no difference in its characteristics, right? So like I can take my dollar, give you my dollar, and you can swap it and give me a dollar. So that's what fungibility or uniformity means. So that checks off. And then the last thing, in my opinion, a good currency has some type of limited supply. Now, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think there should be some inflationary aspects to a currency, but that's fine. That, people have their arguments against that. Like, Bitcoin is a deflationary currency, meaning it increase, like, so it's a fixed supply, so there will never be any more created. So it by nature is deflationary, because the coin price is inflationary, but it creates the cost of goods, like things that you buy with Bitcoin become cheaper and cheaper as time goes by, theoretically, right? That's what would happen. An inflationary currency is what we have in fiat, but I think they took it to the extreme, is where basically money becomes cheaper, less valuable over time, and so the cost of like goods increase over time. And I think there's a reason. There needs to be a fine medium in that, I think, in my opinion. But at any rate, I can see why people say, having a deflationary currency is good. I think it's just a balance, and how much that deflationariness is should be monitored. But because here's why I say that. If you have a currency, like if we use Bitcoin as a currency, no one would use the currency. No one would use Bitcoin as a currency, because why would I spend my precious Bitcoin on a good or service when I know my Bitcoin can get that good or service at a cheaper price in the short term or in the future, short to mid-term. So that will cause people to hoard their cryptocurrency, their Bitcoin, versus spending it and using it as a medium of exchange as real currency would be. From a technical standpoint, I really think Bitcoin is not a currency because it simply is too slow. It is too slow. The costs, the network fees are going up, and they will continue to go up as we have, like, the next halving we have in Bitcoin. I don't know when it is. I think it's some years out. But the halving will basically cause Bitcoin miners, they get paid less. They get paid half the amount of money they get paid now for the payout for finding a block. So transaction fees are going to go up. So I don't understand how people view Bitcoin as a currency. I view it more as a digital commodity. It literally is a digital commodity, like a gold or a silver, or something like that, where you're not really spending it. You're not really spending it. Would you ever think of a scenario like this? Let's take a credit card or a debit card, our traditional debit card, credit card network system that we have, and compare it to Bitcoin, right? And basically put the characteristics of Bitcoin's network onto the debit card or credit card payment system. Meaning, if I go to the store and I whip out that platinum Amex card, right? Because I'm balling. I got a whole bunch of Bitcoin, and I pull that out, right? And I swipe the card. Now I have to wait for like 15-20 minutes, maybe even up to an hour, for the merchant to say, okay, it's okay for you to take your goods or services from the store and leave. Your purchase is complete. So you're gonna sit around waiting in the store for an hour until you get that sixth confirmation, right? I don't think so, and you know that as well. So that's why I don't see Bitcoin as a currency. I see it more as a commodity. And I would love to know your thoughts on that, people. What do you think about Bitcoin after hearing me, kind of break down what money is, how money is used? Do you see Bitcoin as currency, or do you see Bitcoin as a commodity? I'm hoping, and I believe, this is just my projection and prediction. I project that Litecoin will end up being, or some form of it, may not be Litecoin directly, but I think Charlie Lee is really working hard, and they're doing a lot of stuff with atomic swaps and all of that. I know it's kind of like a test playground, a sandbox for Bitcoin. A lot of the things that Litecoin's network is attempting to do, but I can see, and I see Litecoin being more of a means of currency in the future. So let your boy know. What do you guys think? Leave those comments in the section of this video below, and make sure you like and subscribe, please. And if you do subscribe, please click that bell, and that bell will ensure you are alerted for every video. Because sometimes, if you don't click that bell, you won't even know I have a new video unless you look under your subscription list. So that's pretty much it for today, ladies and gents. I'm about to head back to the crib, and then go over to the office for a minute and get some work done. Oh, one last thing. Campaign is going on right now. What would Clif say? Hashtag what would WWCS, what would Clif say? Make sure you get into the Webbot chat room and get your question to me ASAP. I need them by tonight, midnight tonight, Eastern time. And then, you know, I got some things up my sleeve for you guys. So please get your questions in there. Go to the Webbot room to get details on that campaign. We're asking Clif's, you know, I'm allowing you guys to go ahead and ask your questions, and I really want those questions to be questions that we haven't seen, something unique, you know what I mean? Like, if you can, that'll be great. So that's it. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla. Boom.